Today we are going over 6 brand new trading strategies for the Nasdaq futures. They trade CounterTrend, and there's some of these we've talked about before. Some of these were on the S&P, and so I'm going to go over each of these, starting with HVDP VSD NQ right here. It's a hyperventilating dip buying strategy that uses volume for confirmation, and so this is the strategy. It buys dips. It is long only. And I'm going to show you a strategy that does really well shorting the market after this. And this is what it's done since 2007. And this is what it's done since the pandemic. And so if you take a look here, I want to show you the results, though, since the pandemic. We're going to focus on those since the beginning of 2020. It's a different market environment now. So I'm going to change the date on these. But I'm going to be exporting the data to the portfolio calculator. So all these strategies will be added, and we can add these to the portfolio calculator. We've been wanting more counter-trend strategies, and we have strategies that do well on the long and the short side. And right now, we're looking at HVDP, VSD, NQ, long only. Here it is, going back to January of 2020. If you have a portfolio subscription and we update and add these to the portfolio, you will receive those. If you have the all strategy access, you'll get all 6 of these strategies. Still doing research on the portfolio, and so this is $128 average trade profit using $900 stop loss, $900 profit target. Here is the equity curve, and here is recent performance down the last few months. And so it is a counter-trend strategy that we are favoring right now. And this one and one more are our 2 top out of the 6, HVDP, VSD, NQ, and then Tick Chop News right here. Let's look at this one, and you can see it takes long and short trades, but it does much better on the short side. And I just went back 3 years on this one, and the full data will be in the portfolio calculator. But you see VSD in Tick Chop News and how well it's done. This uses a $2,000 profit target, $1,200 stop loss. Something that I've favored and haven't optimized those settings. And you can see how well it's done on the short side. You see 126 total, but only 45 on the long side. Let's look at the short side. Plus 81, 250, $223 average trade profit, $6,000 max drawdown. And so really like the ability to short a choppy market, and downtrends in general have been choppy. And so this strategy has the ability to capture that. Let's look at the recent performance during a challenging time period. This has done really well. July, August, and September so far, and so it's hard to believe we're halfway through September. These 2 Tick Chop News and VSD NQ are the 2 favorite of the 6. Just to highlight, the existing strategies are right here. These are our existing Nasdaq counter-trend strategies right here. You see there's 13 of them, and this is in our all strategy access Nasdaq counter-trend workspace for TradeStation. And then the new ones are right here, HVD, VSD, and Q1, and then dynamic tick pullback. This is also from the S&P. I'm going to update this to say NQ instead of ES right there. And then mirror, we have OutCP mirror 2020 NQ. This is also from the ES. Number 3, number 4 we just went over, so 1 and 4 are 2 favorites. 5 is Chop News, and 6 is Chop News 2. And I'll show you a 7th that I'm potentially working on. So I've just updated it so that it shows dynamic tick pullback NQ instead of ES on the indicator. And these are the results. I've removed the profit target. There's a profit target in the S&P. I've removed it in the Nasdaq, and you get slightly better results without a profit target. And this is what we're looking at dynamic tick pullback Nasdaq. And then let's look at OutCP mirror 2020 NQ. Same strategy as that we use on the S&P, and it's kind of a choppy equity curve, but up. So we're going to add these to the portfolio calculator, see how they do with other strategies in our portfolio. It has a $2,000 Profit target $1,200 stop loss, 30,000. Net profit over 11,000 drawdown. Over the last 3 years, average trade profit 143. Not a lot of trades, 216, but a uptrend in the equity curve. So sometimes strategies like this can provide incremental gains, and you can see it took a losing trade today, and dynamic tick pullback is long today. Tick chop news, we already looked at this strategy right here. Really like this strategy because of the short side. And then chop news. So this is the chop news strategy. And going back to, it doesn't work well prior to 2022. We'll have the full history in the portfolio calculator. But since 2022, $168 average trade profit. It has a $1,000 profit target, $2,000 stop loss, $15,000 drawdown. Here's the equity curve. Really nice time periods on this equity curve. And because we have that $1,000 profit target, $2,000 stop loss, you have a high winning percent. Like to mix it up. We have a lot of strategies that have tight stops, and then we have less than 50% profitable because our winners are bigger than our losers. I like to have a diversity of exits on the portfolios so that we have strategies like this as well that are more higher percentage accurate. And so this is the equity curve for this setup, and that is chop news, chop 2 news. This is, let's look at the performance for this. And you can see 25,680, $82 average trade profit, 22,085. Not a huge fan of this current strategy the way it is going back historically, but since April of 2022, really like the results. I really like how it's done. April, May, June, July, August. No trades in September so far. So very consistent, especially since October of last year. So almost 12 months of very consistent profitability. Let's look at the annual return. 63% of trades are profitable. Again, I like that. $25,000 over the last year. So this is a strategy that's working right now. And if you take a look at the largest winning trade, so the profit target is 1,500. Stop loss is 1,200. Here is the 7th strategy that needs some work. It is based on my tick count trend indicators. Not releasing this yet. Not putting this in the portfolio calculator yet. It has worked well over the past year, but not before. There was other time periods that it did well. The average trade profit is relatively small. Over the past year, it is larger. 33 over the last 12 months, 33,995, 284 trades. So over $100 average trade profit. And let's look at the tick count trend indicators, and you can see the bottom at this first indicator is the indicator for the day. It's the longer term trend of the NYSE tick. The white means neutral, red means bearish, blue means bullish, and down here is the short-term trend of the NYSE tick. White is neutral, red is bearish, and blue is bullish. And one of the things that you see in a market like this oftentimes is when the trend is neutral. And if you look at today, today's a sell-off day, but the NYSE ticks are relatively narrow. And they've been narrow for a while, and that narrow NYSE tick range tends to favor the bulls in this type of market environment, low VIX market environment. And so when the longer term trend is dead, meaning the white leads the way on the longer term day trade trend of the NYSE tick, and you get some selling in here, say you get some selling in here right here at this point. I'm going to pull the pin out, the red spikes, and that could be a good entry point to take long trades. So you get red spikes right here, and kind of a good entry point there. Red spikes right here. Not the best entry point, but a really good entry point right here. And so you see another potential entry point right there. And so you see these buy signals trying to come in here and take advantage of these entry points. You can see one right here. Taking that. Would have been good to exit here. Working on those exits. These are very short-term trades. And today you get an unusual scenario where the longer-term trend is neutral, but the market is selling off. So there's a divergence between the NYSE tick and the actual market activity. And so let's look back a few more trades here. Really good entry price there. You can see the red ticking up, the red on the short term leading the way, and then that ends up being a good buy signal. And then once again, you see a red spike here, and you get in on that trade. So trending up on a day like this, where you're not sure, it gaps up, then it pulls back and chops around. You're not really sure intraday. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it went up, so buy the dip. But during the day, when this is happening, it's hard to see, and you can tell with these indicators whether the market is, nothing is 100%. On this day, it was bullish, kind of, and then it went neutral. And so bullish to neutral is pretty bullish on this day. Today, we're just pretty neutral, and it's very bearish. So it's rare that you see such a neutral NYSE tick and the market tanking. So risk management is also a good way to manage a strategy like this. So here's the portfolio calculator, and I'll be adding these strategies in the Nasdaq. I've made some entries available for those. I'm inserting some rows here. I need 6 rows total. There's 4 rows. Also have to add columns here. There's 6 columns there for the new strategies. Daily P&L, 6 columns there. And then the calcs, there's some more columns that have to be added. And once I do that, we can put them in here, test them with the portfolio, see how that works, and see what it looks like. And having 6 additional Nasdaq CounterTrend strategies.
Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.